So I think I've started recording now. So we should have the recording. So
Alright, so
the person that was asking that he's not getting it, where did you stop getting what I was explaining so that I'll I'll go back again.
From the beginning of today's class.
Wow. 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 Okay. 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 Let me start again. I'm creating a new part. So today we want to talk about revolve boss. And I said when you want to use a revolve boss is when you are trying to create a shape that you only have the cross section of that shape. Probably a symmetric shape that you only have the cross section of that shape. So you can use that cross section to create that shape without having to have the full dimension of the shape. And an example of such shape is our shaft. When you look at our shaft, the cross section of the shaft from one end is the same thing as the cross section in the other end. When I mean cross section is that when you divide the shaft into two, what you see at one side is the same thing as what you see in the other side. You understand? So for shapes like that, what you do is to use a revolve boss. So I can select on my front plane, my top plane, or my side plane, depending on what I'm trying to achieve. So I right click on my right plane. Now, to apply my revolve boss, let's say I create the half section of my shaft. So sorry, let me go back. You can use a rectangle and divide it into two. So this is my full shaft. So the cross section of my shaft is me adding a center to this shaft, adding a center line to this shaft, and deleting the remaining thing. Let me delete this. Use my trim tool. You can use your power trim. I taught you about trim tool. You can use your power trim or your trim to closest. So I've been able to get half the section of this my shaft. So with this half section of my shaft, I don't need to extrude boss. All I need to do is to revolve boss. So I click on my revolve boss, and then I select where I want to revolve around. Since I'm trying to create a shaft, I revolve around this point, this center line. You can see that we have a shaft. This is your shaft. If you want the shaft to be hollow, you can create that on your sketch. Let's say I want a hollow shaft. All I need to do, instead of making this my center, I can create another line from the center of this. I can do that and then delete. Let me cut this, trim this, sorry, trim to closest, this and this. Yes. So sorry, let me go back. It's because I was supposed to do that before I apply my revolve. So I'm just trying to do it. So now it's going to ask me, where do I want to revolve around this line? What is the face I want to revolve? This. So if I do this, you can see that I have a hollow shaft. Do you understand? So that's how you can create a hollow shaft, or you create a full shaft that is not hollow. So that's what you do. You can create a hollow shaft or a full shaft using this. Now, I went ahead to say, okay, there are different ways you can achieve revolve boss. You can use the up to surface. You can use up to vertices. and the rest. So to not bore us with all that today, that is all for revolve for now. Let's go to our sweep. Let me explain sweep. We'll just be using the basics since this is just a boot camp. We'll just be using the basic feature. As you advance in your course, you can go further, and we'll have subsequent webinars where we can explore each and every features in details. So let me explain sweep boss now. Let me create a new part, and then we want to explain sweep. So what sweep does for you is that imagine you want to create an uneven feature. Let's say you have an uneven feature and you want to create it. Let's say the chimney of a house. Now, if you look at the chimney of a house, you may see that the top of the chimney is rectangular or circular, and then the down is rectangular. To create intricate shapes like that, you may have to employ the use of your sweep boss or your lofted boss. For now, I would use my sweep boss first, then I'll explain your lofted boss. When you want to create something like a chimney, or should I say okay, let's use something like a chimney that is even. So on my top plane, this is my top plane. I create a rectangle on my top plane. Pardon me, I will not be dimensioning now. I'm just trying to explain. Now, so my chimney, some chimneys are rounded. You understand? They are curved, I mean. So I will have to define the boundary of this chimney, how it's going to curve. So I can come to the center, the mid plane, the right plane, or the front plane of this to create another sketch that will show me how this chimney is going to, the profile of this chimney, how it's going to move. So I click on this center, go down and click. It can be a curved line or a straight line, depending on what you are trying to achieve. So I can curve here. Let me curve here. Let's say, let me give it 40 mm. So this is the profile for my chimney. So I have, this is called the profile, and this is called the path where my chimney is going to follow. So I come here and I go to sweep.
Hello, sir. Sorry,
Yeah.
sir. I did not get where you say you have to make a curve there. Can you please explain more better? Yes.
Okay. So what I did was to create a plane. I created a sketch plane on my front plane. On this front plane, I created a sketch plane. Then I went to my line and I clicked here on the center, created a line downwards, a line that looks like, okay, let me just Control Z to do it again so that you see what I did. So I created a line down and I created another line towards this side. So now I want the end of this line to be curved. What do? I apply my fillet. I can apply a fillet here of 40 mm, and here is curved. So I've been able to create the part of my chimney, and this is the profile of the chimney. So I go to sweep boss, click on sweep boss. It will ask me select sketch profile. What do you want to sketch? I already have a sketch profile that I want. This. Where do you want this sketch profile? This is your your path. Where do you want it to follow? I want it to follow this line. So when I click on this, you will see that your sketch profile will follow the line. Now, you may be seeing that it's not showing here. Why is it not showing? You may be asking, why is it not showing? Let's click OK and see. It's saying that our sweep operation failed to complete. There are reasons why this is failing. This sketch is bigger than this. So the part it's moving. What we need to do is to reduce this sketch so it's able to follow this part. We can come and reduce it a bit. Reduce it. So we go back to our sweep, and then we select sketch profile this and our part this. So you can see that we've been able to create something that looks like a chimney in a house. So you can apply your guide curve to this chimney, or you apply other options, tell it to follow paths, or to keep it constant, or specify a twist angle. You want it to twist. You can specify an angle, let's say 3 or so, sorry, 3. So if you want it to be more obvious, you have to put a very large angle. So you can see that the chimney is twisted. If you remember, we normally use a what do we call it? A flange, something like this that we use to loose knots. I've forgotten the name. So we can also use the same way to create something like that. But we are not trying to create this. I just want to show you how how you can use your sweep to create a profile. So there are times that you want to create your sweep, but you already know that your sweep is going to be a cycle. All you just need is to create your path. So to do something like that, I can still click on my top plane. I want to create the path that this my profile room, that's my particular profile is going to move. So you can see I'm using spline now. I'm not using sweep. Let's say I want to create a wire. If I want to create a wire using this, all I just need to do is to define the path. Then I come to my sweep and click sweep. Now, instead of using sketch profile, because I know my wire is circular in nature, the profile for my wire is circular, there's no need for me to define the profile anymore. I just come to circular profile, and then you see automatically my wire is circular. You get it? You can increase the radius of your wire to 20, or you can reduce it to 5. Sorry. You can reduce it to 5 and so forth. That's how to apply a circular profile to your sweep. So any questions? Is there anywhere you're not getting it? Because I want to explain lofted boss now. Okay, so I'll go ahead to explain our lofted boss. To create our lofted boss, imagine we just created our sweep. We use sweep to create a boss. But if you remember, there are some intricate shapes that are not even. It's not rectangle at the top, and it's not rectangle at the bottom. It may be circular at the top and then rectangular at the bottom, or vice versa. So for shapes like that, after you define the part, you have to create multiple profile, and then you create a single part for it. So for shapes like that, let's say I select my top plane. I create the bottom, how the bottom will look like. I want the bottom of that shape to be circular. And I want the top to be rectangular. So I have to offset another plane from this sketch. To offset that, just click on it and go to plane and click your top plane, which is the original plane, and offset it, let's say 30 mm, or let me increase it to 60 mm. So this is another plane. I click on that plane and then create a sketch that is rectangular in nature. So now I want to apply Ctrl+7. I have two sketch. I want to apply my lofted boss to this. To apply my lofted boss, I click on lofted boss base. Now I select, they will ask you profile. You select your first profile and then you select the second profile. Can you see that I've been able to create a lofted boss that looks something like this? Did you get it? Are you guys with me?
Yes, we are with you.
Yes. So this is one way to create a lofted boss. But if you agree with me, it's some lofted boss, some shapes are not equal. They are not looking alike in every side. Maybe this side is curved. This side is curved. The other side is curved. That is where what we call boundary lines. Boundary lines, you have to add your guidelines to this curve. So let me press Ctrl+Z to remove the lofted boss. Then I want this part to be curved, all around it to be curved. So what I need to do is to click on a plane, the right plane. I create a curve by this side. Use my arc. Sorry, okay, I'm using 3-point arc, sorry. I click on this part and I click on this part. Let's say I want it to be curved outward. So I've created one guide curve by this side. I come to the other, I still create another plane on this same plane. I want to create a guide curve here, but I don't want to create it myself. I just want to mirror it on the other side. What you can do is to click on this line, convert entities, then create a center line on this. A center line. You create a center line and you mirror this to the other side. Mirror this about this point. You've gotten what you want. Then you can delete this. You don't want this. So you can see that I now have a sketch. Sorry. I want this sketch to coincide with this line. So let's go back and coincide this sketch to this line. So you can see that I now have a guide curve that is guiding this, that is also guiding this. I want to apply the same curve by this side to guide this side and to also guide this side. So I have to create a plane, select a plane that is diagonal by this side, and that's my front plane. So I click on my front plane. I've seen this side. Click on my 3-point arc, select here, and also select here, and create a guide curve, a guide for my this thing. So this is my guide. Make sure it is touching this. So I click on both edge and say merge, pierce, make pierce. So it is touching this. Now, instead of going back to creating this on the other side, I want them to be the same. So I convert entities. How do I convert entities? I select the same front plane, click on this and say convert entities, and create a center line for my mirror. So this is my center line. I click on this and say mirror entities about here. It has mirrored this to me. I delete the previous one because I don't want it. I just want it by the other side. So now you can see that we've been able to create guide curve at every end. Now we can still apply our lofted boss. So you click on your top for your profile, you click on your top and you click on your bottom. You see you've been able to create your loft, but you want it to be guided at every end. So delete this. You click on this, it will guide it by this side. You click on this to guide it by this side. Click on this to guide it by this side and click on this line. If you say okay, it said curve number 2 is invalid. It does not intersect with sketch 1. So why is it not intersecting with sketch 1? Because there are sketches that are not intersecting with it. So you go back to your features. You go back to this sketch and properly check them. Make sure they are intersecting. So this and this, the piercing, yes, this is piercing. Go back to this as well. Make sure it is piercing as well. This and this piercing. So they are all intersecting because they are mirrored. So I can now go back to my lofted boss and select the top and select the bottom. And then click this, click this, click this, and this line to guide it. And you click OK. So it says sketch number 2 is invalid, does not intersect with sketch number 1. Okay, this is sketch number 2. And where's our sketch number 1? Do we have sketch number 1 here? So there's an error in our work. I'm trying to look for where we have this error. So let's go back. So you must make sure that your sketches are intersecting. If not, your guide curve you will not have a perfect guide curve. So you click on the points and you click on this. Make sure you merge and pierce them. You click on this and click on this. Make sure they are merged, they coincide, and also they are pierced. So do that. This is the first. Okay, this is the second. It's a mirror of that one. So we shouldn't be scared, but let's check it. Let's be sure. So we pierce and we make coincidence. We click on this and this, we pierce. So we are sure. We go to the 5th one. Okay, we have done the 5th, the 4th, 6th, I mean. So we click on this and this, we pierce. Click on this and this, we coincide and we merge. So we are done with this. So the 7th one, this and this, we coincide and we pierce. This and this, we pierce. So we can now go back and apply our lofted boss. So we click this, we click the bottom, and then apply our guide curve. Sorry. Okay. Go back here. Apply our guide curve. What's going on? So you click on this and you click on this. Then for your guide curve 1, 2, 3, 4. So you click OK. So you see it is now working. It's looking like what we want. So always note to always merge and to pierce and coincide your sketches with your profile. If not, you'll be having that error that we just troubleshooted. So that's how to apply guide curve. So depending on the shape you want to create, you can also apply what is called extrude cut, or you can apply shell. Let me quickly explain shell. So imagine we want to create a hole here, and we don't want to create a hole at the top and the bottom and then loft it. What we need to do is to click on our shell and say, you click on this face and this face, and you say show preview. So it will shell this 10 mm. If I want it smaller, 1 mm or 2 mm. So I've been able to shell these 2 mm. And we now have something that looks like this. Something that looks like a bowl or something like that. So this is how you apply your guide curve, your lofted boss, I mean. So the next one is your extrude cut and your revolve cut. So the same way you were able to create a shape by just extruding, you can also cut a shape by also extruding, but this time you are extruding cut. You are trying to cut a shape by extruding. So let me create an extrude boss of this. So I create this. I make this, let's say 100 mm. It's tall and long. I've created this. And I want to create a cycle that will cut through all. I click on this face. I say convert it to a sketch face. Create a cycle. You can create a cycle by offsetting from the existing cycle that is here. So if I offset entities, it will offset from this cycle. I can say reverse it inward. So it has offsetted the cycle 10 mm from this, or you create the cycle yourself. So let's just create the cycle by offsetting. Let's say 5 mm. So we've created a cycle by offsetting. So extrude this cycle to cut through this shape. So I'll go to extrude cut. So I can say extrude cut blind. So it's taking 1000. So it's extruding 1000. I can say extrude to surface. So I want to tell it where to stop. So it should stop at this place. So it will extrude and stop at that face. So it is extruding to this face. If I click OK, OK. So you can see it has extruded this surface. It has removed or created a hole in this shape. So that is how to extrude cut. Let's say I want to create a hole by this side. So what do? I can click on the center plane, the right plane of this, and create a hole here and say, how do I create it? I say extrude cut. I can use through all, or I can tell it the particular distance I want, or through all on both sides. So it will remove it through all on both sides, or I can tell it up to next. I want it to extrude up to this face. It should stop at this face. So I would tell him it should stop at the face. By selecting the face, I can say extrude up to surface. So I click on this face, it will extrude and stop at this face. I can also say offset from face. I want it to extrude, but it should offset from a particular face, and it will do that as well. Up to a body, it can also do that, and mid plane. I've explained this when I was doing extrude boss. The same way it applies to extrude boss, that's the same way it applies to extrude cut. So you can go ahead and try it yourself and see how it looks like. So let me just say extrude to surface. Okay. And then you can see that we have a cut by the side. We can do that on the other side, or we can mirror this to this other side. How do you apply mirror? What you do is to click on mirror, select the face you want to mirror about. So what's the plane? We want to mirror about the center of this, but the way we created this, we don't know the center of this. So the first thing to do is to first of all find the center. How do you find the center of this? Create a plane on the center. You click this face and you go up and click this other face and come to reference geometry and click plane. It will automatically create a plane at the center because you selected two faces. It will create a plane at the center. You click OK. You created a plane. So this plane at the center serves as your center line for this particular shape. So you can come to mirror and you select that plane as your face or your plane you want to mirror. What feature do you want to mirror? What do you want to mirror? I want to mirror this extrude. So you can see it mirrors this extrude on the other side. If you click OK, you now have this extrude cut on this other side. Exactly the same thing. So that's how mirror works. So I have explained linear pattern. You can also do linear pattern. You want to create this linearly across this. So you can click on your linear pattern and select the particular feature. I want to select this. Not my mirror. I want to select this. Remove the mirror. I want to select this and I want it across this side. Sorry. Full preview. Why is it still selecting mirror? So you can select what you want to mirror by selecting features and then you select mirror. Okay. This, you have to select the direction that you want to go. So because there's no line for us to select direction, I have to teach you guys what is called a curve, a reference axis. So you create an axis to show the direction on this shape. Click on axis and select this and click OK. So you've created the center. You've been able to create an axis at the center of this. So to mirror this across this cycle, across this, you can come here and say linear pattern. What direction? Select your axis as your direction. What do you want to mirror? Your features. You select this. Can you see it has created one extra? How many do you want? I want 10, I want 20, whichever I want. I continue to do it and I have 17. I click OK. It automatically creates this for me. So this looks like a flute. If you look at it, it looks like a flute. I had no intention of doing a flute, but it looks like a flute. So that is how you apply your linear pattern. Please, are you guys with me? Thumbs up if you are with me.
Well, with you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So that is how you apply your linear pattern when it comes to your extrude cut. So there are other features, your revolve cuts. So let me explain how to revolve cuts. We have few more minutes to go. So after I explain the revolve cut, we'll start to do some exercises together so that you see how all these features are applied together to create intricate structures. So let me first of all create a sketch on my front plane. I'll first of all use my revolve boss to create something to remind you guys of how to use your revolve boss. So I use my revolve boss, and I created this around this. Now I want to create a hole around this, and I don't want to edit the previous sketch of this my revolve boss. To create a hole around this, what do? I select a particular plane. Then I come and I select a corner rectangle or whichever rectangle you want to do. Select a shape that I want to revolve. Now, instead of revolving boss, I want to chop out this part. So I revolve boss cut. So you see your revolve cut. So revolve cut, where do I want to revolve cut around? This part. So now, if I do this, it is revolving around this part, not the entire shape. But I want to revolve around the entire shape. There are two ways I can go about this. I can create an axis, then use that axis as my center. Let me explain. The axis I showed you guys before, I come here, select plane, and click on this. I've created an axis. Then I go back to my sketch and I say revolve cut. So it's asking me what sketch. Select the sketch first, then revolve cut. It's asking me where do I want to revolve cut. I select the axis. So it is revolving around the center. So if you check it, it has cut that shape for me around the center. That is how to use your revolve cut. Now, that is using axis. Now, I don't want to use axis. I want to use a line to my center to revolve cut. So how do I use a line? I come to this place and I say, okay, let me select a different plane, my right plane now. And I create a line here. That line will serve as my center line, convert it to a construction line. Then I create a shape here. Oh my God. That's serious. So, are you guys with me? Okay, thank you. So I've created a sketch and I created the center using my line. So I go to my revolve cut. I select the line, select your line that you just created. here and the shape, and you revolve cut, and you can see you are able to create a revolve cut at the top. So that is how to use revolve cuts to create a shape. So we'll be attempting to create this. Let me share my screen and show you what we'll be attempting to create. Sorry. So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll be attempting to create this. This is called a bench vise. So we want to create a bench vise using what we've just discussed now. We may not finish everything today, but we'll start some of the parts of this bench vise. The first part of our bench vise is the bench base, which is this part here. We want to create this part here. So what we do is to come here, Control N. I create a new part. I wish I can display both together, but let's see how we do. So I create a plane. On my front plane, I create a sketch on my front plane. Now, our bench vise, from looking at your bench vise, it looks like a rectangle that is cut in half. This is just a rectangle cut in half. So the first thing to do is to create this rectangle. And these are the dimensions, 2.75 and 1.56. 2.75, 1.56. So I'll come here and then click on this, create this. Now, this is done in inches. So I have to select, I told you yesterday that I will be working with inches. So I have to select my unit and change it to inches. That's IPS, inches, pounds, and seconds. So I've selected this, is now in inches. So what I'll do is to dimension this. Here is 2.75. 2.75 inches. So it knows. And this side is 1.56 inches. So you can see that my sketch is fully defined. So now I extrude. My second is to extrude boss mid-plane 7.25 inches. So I go to extrude boss and I extrude this mid-plane 7.25 inches. I can take it the other way around. So I've been able to get this part. I've been able to get this part that you are seeing like this. The next part is to create this edge. This edge that you are seeing. So the radius is 1.38 by 1.75. So I come to this part, I can select this face and then come here. To be fast, I use my corner rectangle and select this and come to this part. Click on this and click on this. I can use my trim, cut this and cut this. Then I apply the appropriate dimension that is given here. The dimension given here is 1.19 from here to the center, 1.19, and 1.25, radius of 1.38. So you can see I did a mistake by taking the other way around. So let's correct that before we go further. It's supposed to be this way around. So our radius for this is 1.38. And the distance from here to here is 1.25. Now, when you go back, sorry, I'm switching between sketches. From here to your center is 1.19 and 1.75. So let's go back. From here to here is 1.75 inch. And from here to here is 1.19. Please take note of that. Very important. Now, if you watch closely, this line and this, they are tangent to each other. So you click two of them and click make tangent. And this is not tangent. So you leave it that way. You can now trim entities. You've trimmed these entities. Now you want to extrude this to that side. How do you do that? You click on this and say extrude sketch. Now we do up to surface. Up to surface, stop here. So it has extruded and it stopped at this place. We have successfully extruded up to surface. Are you guys with me? Hello? Are you still with me?
Yes.
I'm so sorry, it's raining here, so it's a bit noisy. I hope it's not affecting the call. So the next thing we are doing is to create this sketch that we are having at the other end. So to create this, what you do, you come to this face and you click on this face. And you say, you can create a corner rectangle from here to here. And then you create a cycle here. Make sure from here to here is vertical. Now go back to your sketch and check the dimension. If you look, it says from here, from the bottom to the center of your cycle is 2.25 inch. So you go to your dimension from the bottom here to the center is 2.25 inches. So you've dimensioned that. Now, the other dimension says from the top here to the bottom is 2.19. So you go back from the top here to the bottom is from the top here to the bottom here. Now, if you check, it is telling you that the sketch is driven already because you went and we coincided this line. So we delete our coincidence. So we come back and click on this. This is 2.19. So you can see that we've been able to achieve that side. Now, what we want is to trim. We make sure that this line and this line are collinear. And we trim this part. We remove this part and we remove this part. we have successfully gotten what we want. We have successfully gotten what we want. Now, what is the diameter of this? Go back to our sketch and check. Radius is 0.69. So we come here and we click 0.69 for our radius. So our radius is 0.69. You can see that your sketch is fully defined. So how long is this extruded? This is extruded 5 inches from this surface, offset from surface. So please take note. You go back to extrude. I did this exercise so that we'll be able to explore all that I've taught you guys on extrude and all the features. So offset from surface, you select this surface. Sorry, offset from surface, that's what we want. Offset from surface. And you set 5 inches. So you can see from here to this, from this face to this face is 5 inches. It's offsetted from this surface. So that is all for this. If you go back, you have been able to achieve this. Now, the next thing we do is to create this side that we have. If you go back, we want to create this part that we have here. We've been able to create this and this. Now we want to create this part. To do that, we'll create one and then mirror it across every other part. So let's go back to the sketch. To create this sketch, you click on the bottom. And then you can click on your cycle. Create a cycle. I like to create a cycle because it's easier to get this with a cycle. Then you create your center line. Now, when you look at the dimension here, from here to here, from the center to this center is 2 mm. And from here to here, 0.31. That's the radius of this, but the radius of this is 2.26, diameter 2.26. So let's come here and click diameter should be 2.26 mm. Now take note, this is coincident on this line. It coincides on this line. So click both of them and make coincidence. And this is tangent to this. So you click this and make tangents. So you've been able to create that. Now you want to create the small cycle you see by this side. Now from here to here is 2 inches. So take note of that. 2 inches. And this center and this center, they are horizontal. So you've been able to create, what is the diameter of this? The diameter is 0.31. Sorry. Diameter is 0.31. So we go back and click diameter. To be 0.31. So we've gotten this. Now, if you go back to your sketch, you can see that we've gotten that. You can also dimension this to the center, which is fine, which is 2.25, but we've already gotten this. So the extrude. Use change it to blind and 0.5 inches. And instead of downward, change it to upward. So this is 0.5 inch. We have been able to create this. Now, instead of creating this here and creating the other side, creating the other side, I'll mirror this to this other side and then mirror this to this side. So how do I do that? First of all, I have to get the center of this. How do I get the center of this? You say check. This is the center. It is on your right plane. So the right plane is your center. And you come to click on that center, go to mirror. So your right as your center. What do you want to mirror? You tell it the feature you want. This last feature is what you. So you'll be able to mirror it on the side. So you can see that. Now I want to mirror these two on this other side. That means I have to know the center of this. How do I know the center of this? Because I didn't create this at the center. So it will be difficult to know the center by just selecting our front plane. So what we do is to click on this part and click on this part and go to our reference plane and create our center. So you can see that I've created my center plane. Now this will serve as my plane for mirroring. So with this selected, I go to mirror. Mirror, what do I want to mirror? This part, I can click on it. And this, that means I've mirrored on the other side. Good. Okay. Now you can see that we've been able to create this. We are good to go. The bottom, we are good to go. We've been able to create the bottom gradually. Now, we want to create this cut at the bottom. This cut by this face at the bottom. How do we do that? We come to this face, click on this face, and say extrude, and click on the face and say, let's create a sketch. You can use your corner point sketch or your center point sketch, whichever works for you. Let's use our center point sketch. And we create this. We also, if you look at this, sorry, there is also a center. We can use this or use this. This will be too bulky. So let's just create it ourselves. We create a center line. Make sure it is a construction line. We have a shape that looks like this, like this, like this. Cuts to the bottom here. So we are fine with this. We mirror this to the other side. So click on this, on this, on this, and on this. So you click mirror entities and select your center. So we've mirrored this to this part. Create the bottom line. Now that you've achieved this, properly dimension it. This is 1.9, 1.9, 1.0, 1.25. So let's go. This is 1. Let me be sure. This is 1.69. 1.69. This is 1.0. So check. The overall length is 1.69. So a mistake here. So let's correct that. Our overall dimension from here to here is what? 1.69. So now this is 1.25 from here to here. 1.25. So, okay. Got in. And then from here, from the bottom to this side is 1.06. So 1.06 from here to here. 1.06. So got that. Now, what do you do? Extrude cut. Taught you how to extrude cut to all. You come to this part and say just cut. And you say through all. You can see that you've extruded cut. It will cut through anything in front of it. Through all. That's what through all does for you. We've been able to create this bottom. You can see that gradually we are moving to creating our vice base. Now, the next thing we need to do now is to create our holes. These holes that you can see here. Now, we can use our bottom tap holes. I didn't explain how to create holes, but this is an avenue to do that here. So hole wizard, you can create hole by using your hole wizard to create a hole. So hole wizard, you click on your hole wizard, and then you select the hole. You need a tapped hole. A tapped hole. So what did I use here? So I used a bottom tapped hole. Bottom tapped hole. You can see because we are using inches, we are using American standard. American standard. But in Nigeria, we use ISO, that's International Standard Organization. So that's what we use. But because I started this exercise with inches, so let's continue with inches. So I need a tapped, bottom tap. So the first thing you do is to select this and check. So what type of hole do you need? This is flange, this is counter, this is straight tap. What you want is a tamper tap. So this is a tamper tap. So you go to your straight tap. Your straight tap is what you want, and you need the bottom tap holes. What diameter? You need 1/4 to 20. That's what you want. So you come to this part and you select. So look at it here. Now, don't worry about all this. These are just settings that you do depending on what you want. So to be more faster, we go to our position. Where do we want it? Existing sketch. We can select this face as where we want it. So it will ask us. Now, I'm just selecting a face. I've not defined it. I just click OK. So it will create a hole there for me. Now, it is now my responsibility to dimension it, to align it properly. So to align it properly, I can click on this point and this point and say, make horizontal. Create a center line here to make sure that they are both symmetric. So I click on this, hold my control, click on this, hold my control, and click on the line, leave my control. And I will see make symmetric. So this hole from here to here, these points will be symmetric. That's the holes will be symmetric. Now, let me check what is the diameter, the distance, I mean, for the sketch. So from here to here is 1 mm, from here to here is 0.75. So you go to your dimension from here to here, 1 mm. and from here to here, 0.75. So let's be sure. So look at it. Where I dimensioned it is wrong. My 1 mm, what I did was hello, I'm so sorry. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir, we are with
My
you.
network went off, so I'm so sorry about that.
No, network.
It seems we just have three persons on the call. We just have 3 persons on the call, so we would continue the class tomorrow, not to waste our time.
Okay, that sounds good, sir.
Okay. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, good night.